Hi guys, welcome back to ladensercrotchets. If you're new to the channel, my name is Liz. You're welcome. In this tutorial, we're going to make this vest. It's a hooded crop vest, and I used 6 different colors. For those of you who would like to know the number of yarns I used, I don't know because I was using scrap yarn. And all I can tell you is get one color, one ball of each of the colors, like 50 grams ball of each of the colors, and you'll be good to go. If you want to create this in 2 colors, you can do that. If you want to create it in 4 colors or in just 1 color, you can do that. I made mine in 6 colors. This is the back part of the vest, and this is the hoodie part of the vest. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and let's get into the tutorial. I'll work with these 6 shades, and I'm going to be working with them randomly. There is no particular pattern in which I'll attach the colors or I'll connect the colors. Then I'll use a 3.5mm crochet hook. I'll need a measuring tape, stitch markers, a darning needle, and a pair of scissors. I'm going to work 2 pieces like this, and then I'll connect them together. So this is one of the pieces, so I'll work another one completely identical to this, but then I'll be mixing up the colors, as you can see. Now, this represents the back part of the top, and this is the front part. To work this, you need a quarter of your bust. So take your bust measurements, divide it by 4, and that will give you this length right here. And this length is measured while stretching. Mine is at 7.5 without stretching. When I give it a stretch, it gets me to 9. 9 times 4 is 36, and therefore I'm working a bust measurement of 36. We're going to begin. Let's begin with the back panel. We'll begin with the back panel, then we're going to work the front panel and attach them together. So right here, I worked with the green and the hot pink. So for the other part, I'll start with hot pink. Begin with a slip knot, and my starting chain is 28. 28 gives me the 9 inches. I'll start chaining up to 28. That's 28, and when I measure this while stretching, it should get me to 9 inches. And you don't want to stretch it out too much because you don't want the top to be too tight on your body. So now, when I give it a bit of a stretch, it gets me to almost 9.5, and that is quite okay. If your bust measurement is more than 36, you're going to chain more. If it is less than 36, you're going to chain less than 28. To begin the first row, block off the last chain like this, and then chain 1 more, yarn over, insert your hook into that chain that you're holding, yarn over and pull up a loop to get 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the 3 loops to complete a half double crochet. Then yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain and do a half double crochet there, yarn over, insert your hook into the 3rd stitch and do another half double crochet. Then we're going to place 1 half double crochet into all the chains till we get to the end. At the end, I'll have 28 half double crochets. I'm at the end where I'm placing my last half double crochet to complete row 1, and this is what we have. chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. We begin row 2 in this first stitch, and we're going to place a half double crochet into that stitch, then 1 half double crochet into all the stitches. So this is the second half double crochet. Then just go into each of the stitches with 1 half double crochet. So this right here is the last stitch, so be careful not to miss it. Place a stitch into it, and to make sure that you don't miss any stitch, count your stitches as you go, and make sure that you have the same number of stitches as the chains that you began with. So that's the end of row 2. We chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. We start in the first stitch with a half double crochet, and then 1 half double crochet into all the stitches. So basically for row 3 we are repeating row 2, and we're going to repeat row 2 until we get a total of, let me see how many I did. So for this back panel, I did a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18 rows. And when working this panel, we consider the measurement or the length of the top that you want from the waist to the armpit, because this is the armpit part, minus almost 2.5 inches that is represented by the ribbon. And so I'm working mine. It's a 6.5, not 7 actually. I've worked my length from the waist to the armpits with a measurement of 6.5, which is 18 rows. So for this one, I'm going to work a total of 18 rows, and then I'll come back and show you what to do next. I'm done with the 18 rows, and so at the end I'm going to chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point. Pull through and then fasten, then turn your work to the other side. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Insert your hook into the into the 6th stitch. Then you're going to get your next color. If you want to work with just one color, you can just continue working with one color, and then on this side you're going to leave 5 stitches. So you'll start from here and work till you have 5 stitches remaining. But now, because I'm changing the color, I'll get the green and slip stitch it through the 6th stitch, then chain 1, and now I'm going to work half double crochets to the end. I had 28 minus 5. I should have a total of 23 now, and I'm going to work over this end. So yarn over, insert your hook into that very first stitch, place a half double crochet into the next stitch, and into all the stitches to the end. This is my first row of the next color, or row 19 in total. Then I'll chain 1 and turn. Begin from this stitch to the last stitch, which is the 23rd, and I'll keep working these rows until I get a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. until I get 21 rows. Now the 21 rows on this part represent the length from the armpit to the shoulders, which should be a total of 9, measuring from here to this point, that is 7, then plus the 5 that we've left out, which is almost 2, and that gives us 9. It could be between 7 to 9 inches, depending on your size. So if you're a size small, you can work with 7. And then if you're a size medium to large, you can work with 8. If you're size large, you can work with 9. But you can also work with 9 if you're a small size. The 9 inches is the standard length of the armhole for an adult. So let me work my 21 rows with the jungle green yarn, and then I'll come back to show you what to do next. Now this is after the 21 rows for the upper part, and I'm done with the back panel. And together with this other one, this is what you should have, the back part of the top, like that. Once I have the back part ready, I'm just going to turn my top, and then I'm going to work the front part. This is the front part, and for the front part, we're going to start with a panel exactly as this one. So these 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one should be the same, exactly as the first part that I started with. And so that's what we're going to have on this part. Now I'm going to work with the blue, and I'll start with a slip knot and 28 chains, just like I started this one, same as this other one, same as this third one. So we are doing a fourth one with 28 stitches and a total of 18 rows. I have the 18 rows which go to the front part, that front part like that. Now what I'll do is I'll turn my work to this side where the stitches are visible, and then I'll count the 6 stitches like I did on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Insert my hook into the 6th. Then I'm going to work with the gray. Connect it there with a slip stitch. Then chain 1. Go back into that stitch with a half double crochet, into the next stitch with half double crochet, and into all the stitches to the end. So at the end, we are at this point, and we want to work something so that we get the v-neck. So we want to start reducing on this side, just like we've reduced on this other side. So what I'll do is chain 1, turn my work, start with a reduction. Now to reduce, we insert the hook in the first stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, insert the hook into the second stitch and pull up a loop to get 4 loops on the hook, then yarn over and pull through all the 4 loops. You might need a stitch marker to mark this side so that you remember that you're only reducing on this side. And when we're reducing, we only reduce in the row when you're going to this side. When you're coming back to this side, we do not reduce. So in row 2, there's a reduction. In row 3, there'll be no reduction. So now into all the other stitches in row 2, work just 1 half double crochet to the end of row 2. So I'm placing a stitch into the last stitch there, chain 1 and turn to begin row 3, and we work row 3 without reducing, so every stitch gets 1 up to this last stitch right here. So 1 half double crochet into each of the stitches. So this is the last stitch. I place a half double crochet into it, chain 1 and turn. When we turn, we start row 4 with the reduction. Insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert the hook into the second stitch and pull through all the loops. That's a reduction in row 4. Then row 5 will have no reduction. Row 6 will have a reduction. Row 7, no reduction. Row 8 will have a reduction. So basically we are reducing in the even rows. So that is row 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. And I'll keep reducing till I get a total of 21 rows. So this is the end of row 4. Chain 1, turn, begin row 5, work row 5 without a reduction, then row 6 with a reduction. I'll meet you once I'm done with the 21 rows, and then we shall continue from there. I'm done with the 21 rows, and when the panels are put together, this is how they should look like. I don't need this stitch marker anymore. So this is the right side and this is the wrong side. So for this one, I'll chain 1. I'll not cut off the yarn, but I'll turn that to the wrong side like that, and I'll join the 2 parts on top like this. That means I'll count the number of stitches on this side. On the gray, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Then from this other side of the green, I'll count 13. After the 13 on this side, I'll insert my hook into that first stitch on that side, then count 13 on the green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Then insert the hook in the 13th stitch on that other side. Then I'll pull up a loop and connect the 2 pieces with a single crochet on that stitch. Then into the next stitch, and the stitch on the other side, connect with a single crochet. Then connect all the corresponding stitches to the end right here. So the 3rd stitch with the 3rd stitch. That's actually the 4th, then the 5th, and all the way till I get the 13. So I'll connect the last stitches with a single crochet, then chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point. Pull through and fasten. And this is what we have. Now you have the 2 parts of the vest, we are supposed to join them at this point, and then on top we're going to join up to this point. But then before joining, I'll work the hoodie part of the sweater. So I'll start with one of the panels, and I'm just going to turn my work, ensuring that I'm on the right side. Then I'll connect my yarn from this stitch, the brown. Is this brown or peach? I don't know why I've been calling it brown. So this yarn, that's what I'm going to connect in that very first stitch. Then I'll chain one, yarn over, go back into that stitch with a half double crochet, then back into the same stitch with another half double crochet to make 2 in one stitch. Into the next stitch we place 2 half double crochets, 2 half double crochets next, and each of the stitches will get 2 half double crochets. As you do this, count your stitches. So these are 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. In the corner stitch, I'll only place 1 half double crochet. That will be 21, sorry. Then I'll get onto this, and right here I'm working on the rows, and each of the rows will also get 2 double crochets. So this will be 22, 23. Get onto the next row and do 24 and 25. Then the next row, 2 half double crochets, that's 27. Then next we have 2 half double crochets to give me 29, then 31, 33, 35, 37, 39, and the last stitch will be on this row, which will be the 40th stitch. 40 stitches. Let me confirm with the other panel that I've already done. So for this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we are ending at the same place. Now after the 40 stitches, we're going to chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. Now row 2, till we get 20 rows, we'll only have 1 half double crochet into every stitch. So into this first stitch, half double crochet, then into all the stitches for a total of 40 stitches. This is standard for all the adults. This is an adult hoodie. It's actually a bit bigger, but I want it a bit bigger. I don't want it just fitting. If you want it to fit, you might need to do 30 stitches instead of 40. So that's the 30 that is on this side plus the 30 on the other side makes 60. Mine will be 80 stitches. I'm at the end of row 2, so to begin row 3, chain 1 and turn, and work just 1 stitch in every stitch, and then I'll work my 20 rows. I'm done with the 20 rows, so at the end I've just chained 1, then I'll cut off the yarn, pull through and fasten. Then I'm going to get the purple yarn and connect it right here and keep working the rows. After chaining 1, I'll go back into that stitch and work 1 half double crochet. Then I'll be working over these 2 ends as I work the row to the end, row 21, and I'm going to work 6 rows with the purple, 1 stitch into every stitch for a total of 40 stitches until I have 6 rows. This is after the 6 rows of the purple, and now I'm on the right side, and I'm going to start working a reduction, and the reduction is only done on one side, but be careful not to reduce on the wrong side. So this is the side, the inner side of the front part of the vest, and therefore this is the outer part of the hoodie, and this is the inner part. We are going to reduce on the inner part of the hoodie, so I'll get a stitch marker and mark this side to remind me that that's the side that I'll be working a reduction. And from here till I get a total of 20 rows, I'll work a reduction at the beginning and at the end on this side. So what we do is chain 1 and turn. To work a reduction, we insert the hook into the first stitch, yarn over, and insert the hook into the second stitch to get 4 loops on the hook, then yarn over and pull through all the 4 loops. So we've turned 2 stitches into 1, then every other stitch will get 1 half double crochet to the end. At the end, we will not reduce, we'll just work all the stitches with 1 half double crochet. When you get to the end, chain 1 and turn, then work back to this point, work back till you get 2 stitches remaining. Then I'll come back and show you how to reduce at the end of row 8 with this yarn, row 28 in total. I'm coming to the end of row 7, and I'll work my last stitch into this very last stitch. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 8. Begin in the first stitch with a half double crochet, then work till you have 2 stitches remaining. So 1 half double crochet into each stitch till we have 2 remaining that we're going to combine to get 1 stitch. I have the 2 stitches remaining, and now I'll yarn over, insert my hook into the second last and pull up a loop. Then I'll not complete the half double crochet, then insert my hook without yarning over into the last stitch and pull up a loop to get 4 loops, then yarn over and pull through all the 4 loops. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 9. We begin by a reduction. Insert the hook without yarning over in the first stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over, insert the hook into the second stitch and pull up another loop to get 4 loops, then yarn over and pull through all the 4 loops. That's a reduction in row 9. Then each of the other stitches will get just 1 half double crochet to the end. So I'll keep reducing on this side at the beginning and at the end until I get a total of 20 rows with the purple yarn. After the 20 rows, I'll just chain 1 at the end and cut off the yarn. Pull it through and fasten. And this is what we have now. I'm holding my work on the right side. Then I've already worked the other piece. And we are going to connect. I'll be connecting from the bottom all the way up to the hoodie part, all the way to this point. So I'll be showing you how to connect that. Then I'll also connect the sides, this part, and this other part. And once I've done that, I'll be done with the main part. All that will be left is to do a ribbon on the armhole, on the bottom part, and on the hood part of the top. I'll get stitch markers and connect the panels together all the way to the top until the part where I want to connect up to. So this second panel on one side and the second panel on the other side. Pin them together with a stitch marker. Then move to the next one. Then the next. So now I'll start connecting from here all the way to the last stitch marker. I'll turn my work like this. Now for this part of connection, I can either use the green or the what? The hot pink. So let me use the hot pink. Get the yarn. Start from the last row, this first row on this side, and the first row on the other side. Slip stitch and chain 1. We're going to connect with single crochets. Chain 1, get this end, we're going to work on it. After chaining 1, we're going to insert our hook to that very first stitch again. Insert your hook and complete a single crochet. Then we're going to go into the next row, the second row, this one, and the second row on the other side, and do a single crochet. Then go back into that same row and do another single crochet to make 2 single crochets in the second row. Then in the third row, which is this one, and the third row on the other side, we're going to place just 1 single crochet. Then the fourth row, connect the 2 fourth rows with 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. Into the fifth on the other side, 1 single crochet. Then we move on to the 6th. Connect it with the 6th on the other side with 2 single crochets. We get into the 7th. The 7th gets 1 single crochet. The 8th gets 2 single crochets. And then keep alternating like this. Now I'll join like that till I get to this part where the hot pink ends. I'll pull the stitch marker, and I've just worked 2 single crochets, so the next one gets just 1 single crochet, and then next 2 single crochets. Once I get to the end of the pink yarn, I'll just chain 1 at that point and cut off the yarn, pull through and fasten. Now for this other part, the hoodie part, till we get to this point, from here all the way to this point, we're going to work with either the purple or the peach, the brown. I'll use the purple. To reconnect the yarn, we do that on the last single crochet that we've done, this last single crochet of the previous yarn. Insert your hook there and slip stitch. Then I'll leave this end to weave it in on that side. Then I'll work on the purple end. My last row, I placed two single crochets, so I'll just skip to the next row, this one, and the other row on the other side, and do 1 single crochet. Then tighten this part to ensure it's secure. As I work over it, the next row will get 2 single crochets. The next will get 1 single crochet. Then 2 single crochets. One single crochet next. 2 single crochets into the next row. One single crochet. Then 2 single crochets. And now I'm going to repeat that all the way to this end. Once I get to this corner, I have the stitches and not the rows. And as for the stitches, each stitch will get 1 stitch. In the last stitch, which I'll connect with a single crochet, then chain 1 and cut the yarn, then pull through, fasten. And now we have the middle part joined. This is the hoodie part. This is the right side. Next, we join the sides. We start with this side, and I'll use the pink on this side. You can use the pink or the blue. Then on the other side, I'll use the green or the gray. Now turn the work to the wrong side in order to do that attachment on the sides. Like this. Begin on the first row, and the first row on the other side. Get the yarn and connect it, and we are joining up to this part. So only this. Now connect the yarn and pull through, then chain 1, work over these ends, place 1 single crochet into that first row, 2 single crochets into the second row, one single crochet into the third, and alternate to the end. In the last row, I'll have 2 single crochets. Then chain 1 and cut the yarn. Pull through, fasten. And that side is joined. When we turn to the right side, this is how it will be looking like. Now you're going to go to the other side and connect it, same way we've connected this other side. I'm done joining the second part, and this is what we have. And now we need to join the front part, this part right here. So just turn this to the wrong side completely. We're going to join till we get to the beginning of the V-neck, this row, and the blue row on the other side. We join this part using the gray or the blue. I'm done with the connection of all the parts that needed to be connected. Next, I'm going to weave in the ends, and then after that, I'll do a ribbon at the bottom on the armholes and on this part of the hoodie. So get the dunny needle. After weaving in the ends and turning the vest to the right side, this is what we have. And we are almost done now. We're only going to do a ribbon on the bottom part of the top, on this part, on the armhole, and then we're going to do another one on the hoodie part, starting from here all the way around the hoodie. You can either do the ribbon separately and join it, or you can just work it on the straight onto the top. And I like working it straight onto the top. I'll first show you how to do the ribbon in the bottom part. For the ribbon, I'll use the green in all the parts. I'll use the green on the bottom, on the armholes, and the hoodie part. So you begin by a slip knot. Then get one of the corners of the bottom part and reconnect the yarn in the point of connection of the sides at the stitch that is, and we are working in between the stitches. So in this stitch right here, you'll do your connection there with a slip stitch and tighten it. For the ribbon, I'm using a smaller hook, which is the 3mm. For the main part, I used the 3.5. So you want to change to a smaller hook. You can use the 3mm crochet hook or the 2.5. Now from here, we're going to chain 10. Then, after the 10 chains, block off the 10th chain and chain one more. Go back into that 10th chain with a single crochet in the back loop. In the next back loop, single crochet. In the third back loop, do a single crochet. Then we're going to do one single crochet into all the back loops for a total of 10 stitches, 10 single crochets. This is my 10th single crochet, and that's the end of row 1. To complete it, we slip stitch onto the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, in between them, do a slip stitch, and that completes the first row. Then we do a second slip stitch into the next gap to start row 2. So that's like the chain 1 that starts us on row 2. Then we turn our work. Then this yarn, you take it to the other side. Then begin in the first stitch. As you can see, from this side, this is the first stitch, but we're not going into it. We're going to go into the back loop of it, right there. And in that back loop, we're going to do a single crochet into the next back loop, into the next back loop, and into the next, and into all the back loops. Then in the last stitch, we're going to work into both loops right here. Single crochet to complete row 2, chain 1, and turn to begin row 3. Now when we're beginning on this side, we'll always work both loops. When you come into the end, when we are beginning, we'll work the back loop. When you are ending the row on this side, we'll work both loops. So as we begin row 3, we work in the back loop and then work into all the other back loops for a total of 10 single crochets, 10 back loop single crochets. That's row 3, but to complete it, slip stitch onto this gap, then slip stitch onto the next gap and turn. Take the yarn to the other side, begin in the back loop and work a single crochet, then work a total of 9 back stitches in the back loop. Then the last one into the both loops. Chain 1 and turn. To begin row 5, begin in the back loop of the first stitch. Work all the 10 back loops. Slip stitch onto the next gap to complete row 5, then slip stitch onto the next one to start row 6 and turn. Then the yarn goes to the other side. We begin in the back loop, work 9 back loops. Now keep repeating these rows. You're alternating between row 2 and row 3, and we'll do that till we've worked a ribbon all the way around this part to this end and on top part back to where we've begun. So I'll meet you when I'm coming to the end of the ribbon to show you how to complete it. Now I'm done with the ribbon at the bottom part, as you can see, and I've worked such that there's no stitch remaining, and now we're just going to join this side with this other side, and you need to do that on the inside part. So what I'll do at the end is chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work to the wrong side so that I can work from the wrong side like this. Then I'll just pull out this hook and insert it into the first stitch in the both loops. Then on the other side, I'll insert on the back loop and then get this loop and pull it through. Then I'll chain 1, go into the both loops on this side and the back loop on the other side and do a single crochet. Both loops on this side, back loop on the other side, single crochet, then do this to the last stitch. So I'll join with the single crochet in the last stitch, then chain 1 and cut off the end. then pull this through and fasten. We're going to weave that in. I'll do that later. So now I'll show you how to work. We're done with this part, the bottom part. Now we work the sleeve. We begin the sleeve at this point. We're also using the jungle green yarn. So start with a slip knot. Insert your hook into this first stitch right here. Slip stitch, chain 1, do a single crochet into that stitch, a single crochet into the next stitch, into the next stitch, single crochet. Notice that I'm working in between the stitches, single crochet next, then next. We get to the corner, single crochet there, turn to the rows, and this first row will get 2 single crochets. The next row will get 1 single crochet. The row that follows, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 next, 2 next, and continue all the way around till you get back here where we've reconnected the yarn. I'm at the corner. I've placed 1 single crochet there, then into this gap, single crochet, into the next gap, single crochet, and single crochet to the end. The last single crochet will be right here. Then connect into the first stitch with a slip stitch. You can leave your sleeve like that, or you can do a ribbon. I'm going to do a ribbon on that point. Then so I'll chain 6, then go into the 5th stitch with a single crochet in the back loop, in the next back loop, and we'll have a total of 5 single crochets in the back loop. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's the first row of the ribbon. Then slip stitch into the next gap, then into the next gap that follows, into those single crochet stitches, then turn. Now for the ribbon on the armhole, we are going to work back loops all the time. Like even at the end, we are working in the back loop, so we don't want it to be too tight on the arm. So single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4 in the last back loop, 5, chain 1, turn to begin row 3, single crochet in the back loop of the first stitch and in the back loop of all the other stitches for a total of 5. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5 into the next stitch right here, slip stitch, then slip stitch next, and turn. When I turn, I work in the back loop of the first stitch, and I work a total of 5 stitches in the back loop, even in the last loop. So back loop, chain 1 and turn, begin in the back loop of the first stitch, then the second, the third, the 4th, and the 5th. Then slip stitch into the next stitch right here, then into the one that follows. Now keep repeating these rows until you've gone all the way around. I'll work both of the armholes and I'll be back. When you're done at this point, you're just going to connect the same way you connected at the bottom part. So I'll do the 2 ribbons on the armholes, then I'll show you how to work the ribbon on the hoodie part of the top. I've worked one of the sleeves, or one of the armholes, that is the ribbon on the armhole, and this is what we have. and I'll just do this off camera, but before then I'll show you how to do the ribbing in the neckline or on the hoodie from this part of the neck all the way around, and then we get back here using my hook, 3mm hook, and the green yarn. Start with the slip knots. Then we're going to get this middle part and connect the yarn there with a slip stitch. Make it tight. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we're going to work into the 5th chain. So this is the 6th. We'll go into the 5th with a single crochet into the back loop, then a single crochet into the next back loop, and we're going to do a total of 5 single crochets. We're done. So to complete row 1, we slip stitch onto the next row. We are working on the rows right now, and we're just working one ribbon row into each row. So into that next row, slip stitch. Into the 3rd row, we slip stitch to start row 2 and then turn. Then work in the back loop of the first stitch and work a total of 4 back loops. Then in the 5th, we work the both loops. So we're going to do the ribbon on the hoodie part, same way we worked the ribbon on the bottom part. Then chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. Begin row 3 in the back loop. Then a back loop single crochet into all the 5 stitches. Then we go into the 4th row. Slip stitch into that row, and then slip stitch into the next row and turn to begin row 4. We work in the back loops for a total of 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then the 5th one, both loops. Chain 1, turn to begin the next row, which we begin in the back loop, and do a total of 5 single crochets into each of the back loops. Then we slip stitch into the next row and slip stitch again into the row that follows, then turn and work the next row. Now we keep repeating this till we go all the way around the hoodie and back to this part. So I'll just work till I get it to this part. Then when I get here, I'll continue all the way around, get back to this point. When I get to this last row here, I'll show you how to connect the 2 sides. So keep going and I'll meet you there. I'm done with the edging all around the hoodie, and I'm at the end where we need to connect the 2 edges together. So right here, I'll just chain 1 and turn the edges onto the wrong side. Then I'm just going to connect this front loop with both loops on the other side with a single crochet. Then the 2nd stitch with the 2nd stitch on the other side, the 3rd with the other 3rd on the other side. Then we have the 4th stitch with the 4th stitch on the other side. Then finally we have the last one, which is the 5th stitch side. Then I'll chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point now. Then I'll pull through and weave in that end. I've already weaved in all the other ends, so I only have this and this one remaining. So let me weave this one first. So now I'm completely done with the hooded vest, and this is how the final product looks like. This is the bottom part. We have the sleeves or the armholes right there, and then we have the hoodie. So thank you so much if you stuck around to the end of the tutorial. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like, a comment, share, subscribe, and if you recreate this, don't forget to tag me. I'll be reposting your recreations.